Spirit, especially you, Mr. Crow.
Oh, absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Spirits, baby.
There's nothing like all of your colleagues jumping on you for Christmas. I appreciate it. That's why I love you.
We love you too. Just welcome to our world. Oh, mercy. Okay. There was something I was going to say, but I can't remember. All right. Is there a motion? I know, of course it was. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Antonius. There you are.
Mayor. All right, good afternoon, Councilman and Mayor. I have two applications tonight. The first one is for Catch a Taste Restaurant LLC, DBA Catch a Taste Restaurant. They're applying for a restaurant retail liquor at their second location at 2601 Martin Luther King Boulevard. All right. And the second
Let me ask you
application.
this question.
Yes, sir.
The store that's right across the street from that school,
That went
Family
Winston's
Dollar,
at one time or something?
what's the distance from a school can a business have alcohol?
I would have to follow over the ABC board on that one. I don't
There
think
is
so.
a law
Yeah.
of some type.
Because I don't think that they could have it at that store.
That store has had it before.
Has it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Everybody
All
had
your
it.
life. All your life.
Can't be that serious. Because Winston had it.
I don't think it's too close.
It's just a good,
Yeah,
a good way
I
to.
don't think it's too close.
I'll double check and send you an email.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what, you know, you'll see it.
All right, and then the second application I have is for LRJ Empire DBA Space Restaurant. They currently have a lounge retail liquor license. They're requesting increasing the occupancy load. Currently is at 98. If I'm not mistaken, it's going up to 285 is their request. And it's located again at 1735 Culver Road. Again, they currently do have a lounge retail
They
liquor
didn't
class
have-
one.
They had to have the
Originally-
space, but they didn't have the sprinkler system. Now they.
Yeah,
Yeah, to do that, they had
originally,
to
it
have
was the
that.
original number, but they couldn't occupy their occupancy because of that sprinkler system. But they have it done now. Yes, sir. I'm good with that.
Those are two applications I have tonight.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Tony. Are you trying to get Erica down here on you?
Tell her, come on, hey, we have a great relationship.
Hey, you think how quick that can change?
Oh, gonna say.
Oh, yeah, migraine. All right, Mayor Maddox.
Yes, sir. Two quick things. One, in terms of the upcoming ESD, we will not be having garbage, trash, and recycling on Christmas Day, which is Monday. But we will service one day behind, so just know that we'll run one day behind that week. And the same will be for the following week because January 1st falls on a Monday as well. So we'll just be one day behind on those schedules.
Okay.
If you have any questions, let Chris and his team know. I shared with you that voice recording today, and if that doesn't inspire you about what we do, I don't know if anything can.
I haven't heard it
Russ,
yet. But.
You need
You do it in private.
yeah.
You might have a grown man crying. You might, you
I
might
will.
start shedding tears. Tell them.
It reminds us
You're wrong for that.
why we do what we do every single day. The second thing is my tie's falling apart here. I just noticed. Maybe I'll get a new tie for Christmas. I sent you a note last night, but I've appointed Mike Gardner as our new city engineer. So Mike. I'm worried we got to get him a little bit of a personality. You know, he doesn't have much personality to him, but we're going to work on that. But he has done a really fantastic job. Mike, you've done a really good job, and I haven't found one person today to say, what were you thinking about that appointment?
Nope.
Everybody's been very excited, Mike, so we welcome you to the team and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mayor.
We have, I believe, 3 issues for executive session today, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Any other department comments? Anyone in the room at this time?
Can I
Yes, sir.
make one comment?
You
I
can.
I attended the public library board meeting yesterday as just a visitor because they were gonna be voting on the recommendation to keep the electronics, the e-books, you know, I think Libby, all those different things in place. And the board voted to do that, so that is good news for the citizens. And I really think that the sentiment, because there was a Northport councilman there and also county commissioner, I think the sentiment from the people that I talked with was that we would continue to work together to try to figure out what is the best path forward with some funding and some different things with the library. But there was I thought it was a good board meeting to be at, and I would encourage other of my colleagues to go to some of those board meetings within the next several months. And so we continue to look at the finances and prepare. It'll be budget time, I guess, before you turn around. But I do think that it's a good thing that they did that, because that was the one thing that I heard from
Absolutely.
everybody more than anything. And I do think the city is funding the library. We've done a lot for the library in the last year.
We have.
That's not to say we don't have to look at new things, but I think it was a good positive meeting. So I just wanted to say that.
And also, Carly, maybe if you will check, the former director here who now holds a state position with the libraries, they're putting out, well, I'll just say it, because they're doing it. It's not another press release, but now the big thing going around with the library is if we don't do this, they will lose this from the state. And
That was said yesterday.
Yeah.
In the meeting.
And that's going around now to Facebook, homeowner association. It's going, in other words, it's kind of that same, I don't know who started it, but I got a direct call from the Montgomery library director, I guess, state library director. So I don't know if, Carly, you familiar with that?
I can, no, sir, I'm making notes on.
That was stated in the
So
board
there's,
meeting
so
yesterday.
supposedly
said
there's
they
state funding that's contingent upon local funding?
That's it.
On certain things that are funded, Carl. And
Okay.
I should have taken
And it was a
notes.
pretty big amount, wasn't it?
$300,000.
Yeah,
I'm not aware, but I will do as much research as I can to find out what that's about.
like you need something else. on your
Well,
plate.
that'll be a nice, Christmas break research project.
Okay.
How about that?
I just would like to know how valid it is.
Sure, absolutely.
And instead of just being a tactic. I'm not saying that it is, but
So,
we do
and-
know how things have gone lately.
And just for council's awareness, from their funding contract that they have had in the past, you remove the Weaver Bolden specific amount and their overall agency funding contract of the 1.4 million, that there are no strings attached about what they spend that on. And so if they are saying that they cannot be able to pay for something within their budget, we put no contingencies on how they spend that 1.4 million up to now.
Uh,
So, I would like to know what their comments are about if we can't pay for something and the state requires us to be able to pay for it. That might be a them decision and not an our decision.
I'll get that to you.
Okay.
What
I'd
I've
love
been
to hear
seeing.
more about that. Yeah, I really would.
Since it's Christmas, I'm not gonna say anything else.
I know. Since it's Christmas, will be nice.
Thank you, Norman. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Green.
I'm gonna stay on. I've never been on the nice list, but. Yes, sir, Mr. Holmes.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
We've got a fairly short agenda to run through today. I am
Good.
actually back over on the first page. We're on pages 4 and 5 of your agenda. You will have the unfinished business item approving a resolution regarding the request by the Tuscaloosa City Board of Education for action under Section 217F of the Alabama Constitution and a school funding proposal made there under. And then now skipping back down to resolutions and ordinances not of a general nature or permanent operation. On page 11, you'll be authorizing the execution of agreement with Appraisal and Consultant Group Incorporated for professional property appraisal services. This came to you in projects last week. On page 12, you'll be authorizing the agreement with Womble Appraisal Group for professional property appraisal services as well. This again came from projects. You'll remember this is the appraiser and the review appraisal. On page 13 through 15, you'll be establishing times for regular city council and committee meetings. This was discussed on November the 21st for the first time. This adds the second public safety meeting for alcohol licenses, and we'll discuss it a little bit further in admin today. On page 16, you'll be authorizing the First Amendment to the professional services agreement with Davis Architects for the Saban Center. This is a total not to exceed $840,946.75 and was discussed in projects last
Is
week.
that on the agenda?
On page
What was it?
17,
What was it
you'll
again?
be authorizing amendment number 1 to the professional services contract with Volker Inc.
I didn't see
for
that.
the Saban Center project. This is a total not to exceed $1,087,285.50. And again, this was in projects on the 12th. On page 18, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a reimbursable agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation for the relocation of utility facilities regarding resurfacing and safety widening on State Route 216 and 215. This is doubled up tonight and will be presented at projects today. On page 19, you'll be authorizing minor public works agreement with MAC Environmental. This is a total not to exceed $6,700. It was on projects on the 12th. On page 20, you'll be authorizing a contract with Iviqua Water Technologies. This is a total not to exceed $400,000, and again was on projects on the
Sound
12th.
effects lady, is that correct? Yeah, well, I wish that would go away.
I've suggested that we could call them EWT, but
I'm not saying a word.
Go ahead, Mo.
on page 21, you'll be authorizing a professional services contract with Porter Higginbotham Engineering. This is a total not to exceed $222,804, and again came from projects last week. On page 22, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Dogan Metal Products. This is a total of $790, and again was on projects on the 12th. On page 23, you'll be authorizing renewal of a contract with Sprout Social. This is a total not to exceed $12,180.48, and again came from projects on the 12th. On page 24, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with TTL for geotechnical exploration services for the Saban Center. This is for a total not to exceed $14,900, and again came from finance. On page 25, you'll be authorizing amendment number 4 to the 2019 A warrant series budget. This came to finance on the 12th. On page 26, you'll be authorizing a memorandum of agreement with Kentuck. We do have one suspended rules item that is doubled up, and you will be briefed in more detail on it in Finance Committee. Are there any questions for me?
There are. Scott, you remind me about the council,
Page 13.
page 13. I remember, did we add a meeting?
So this was discussed on the 21st, and one of the reasons we put it back on committee today was I was out of town on vacation on the 21st. This was discussed as part of changes to how we were going to do alcohol licensing. The discussion was to have the alcohol licensing come before a committee rather than just straight to council. The idea was that we would have it on admin and public safety, and we would add an additional public safety to allow there to be a committee meeting. Those licenses could be heard on each week, so we didn't end up with people missing deadlines and things like that. It was discussed, I believe, fairly vaguely, and so it's prepared and on the agenda, but we also added it to admin today, and the copy of what is being done is in your admin packet in case there are more specific questions.
I remembered it was adding one, but I couldn't remember.
There should be in what's in your admin packet, the line, I believe, under the second Tuesday that's in bold is the only change to that document from what y'all passed when you.
Oh, I'm good with it. I just need my memory refreshed. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? for Scott.
And the suspended rules will be covered in finance.
In finance, yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, sir. Right. Project Finance Admin, Community Development Council at 6. Then, as the mayor has already said about the holidays committees, we will not meet next Tuesday or the following Tuesday. And ZBA will meet Wednesday, by the way, tomorrow. And Personnel Board will meet Thursday at 11 a.m. Anybody else have anything to bring before the pre-council before we?
I want to say thank you to Chief Blankley. Last Friday afternoon, we had a meeting and just saw some things that pretty much amazed me with our SWAT team, our drones, some other things that I hope we can do it again, Chief, and maybe some other council, other people see this. I'm very, very proud of what our police.
I'd heard that
department's
went really well.
doing. It went
Somebody else
very well.
had told me that.
Yes.
Good. It's great. Okay, is there a motion we go into executive session?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that the topics for executive session are appropriate to discuss the consideration the governmental body is willing to offer or accept when considering the purchase, sale, exchanging, lease, or market value of real property, as well as to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade or commerce in which the governmental body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama or other states or foreign nations, and that the discussions would have a detrimental effect upon the competitive position of a party to the negotiations or upon the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a public employee or business entity in the area served by the governmental body if disclosed outside of executive session.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?